Aye.
All right, thank you. Welcome everyone to the Conservation Board meeting, Town of Victor. Call the meeting to order at 6:34. Andrew Phillips, Norman, myself, along with Mr. Destro from BME, which will review our first project, Bluestone Trail, formerly the 7200 Rawson Road project. Applicant is requesting acknowledgement of a completed application for a 59 for sale townhome unit. Subdivision on 18.5 acres. Project will consist of 2 private roads off the north side of Rawson Road. So just discussed this 2 weeks ago. Or any comments, questions, concerns? We've reviewed the materials.
I mean, so for tonight, we're just, acknowledging a complete application, which, I think everything's here. I assume they closed on the property or no, since 2 weeks ago.
I don't know if it's officially closed yet. We're circling the Mylar, the subdivision plat as we speak for the signature so that it can be filed. I think that they can officially close on the property.
Okay. It doesn't really matter so much, but I was just curious.
I wasn't here 2 weeks ago, so can you give me the 30,000 foot flyover going on?
With the 2-lot subdivision from a weeks ago or
Yeah, I guess.
or just overall in general?
Overall.
Because this project up on the screen was approved as a PDD rezoning in December of last year. The town board approved for 59 townhome units, for sale townhome units. The sketch plan that we've submitted to date for this application to be deemed complete by this board is wholly consistent with the PDD concept plan that was approved by the town board. We still have the 59 townhome units. As mentioned, there's 2 private roads off the north side of Rawson Road that will serve the community. There will be pedestrian connectivity from the sidewalk on the south side. There's an existing concrete sidewalk on the south side of Rawson Road. This development will provide a full pedestrian connection via crosswalk just next to Chapel Hill Drive. And then it will, the sidewalks will enter the Bluestone Trail community and offer a connection to the Auburn Trail to the north. Another benefit that the only thing that has been an addition, a positive addition to this project since the PDD rezoning is that the applicant has had some discussions with town representatives for the Parks Department and has offered to create a lot. It's lot number 60 on the top of the development. That lot will include the proposed pump station, which will be dedicated to the town for sanitary sewer, but it will also it also contains room. We've set aside an area for a maintenance shed that would be constructed by others, but we've allowed the room and allocated a lot for it. So the Victor Hiking Trails Association will have an area to store their maintenance equipment for the trail and then have parking spots adjacent to it and then allow them access to maintain the Auburn Trail and the other trails within the Victor community.
Cool. Nice. What's your so you're in sketch plan, right? That's what I saw.
Yeah, I mean, we've basically produced preliminary plans. We broke it down for a sketch plan application, but yes, we are in the sketch plan phase, and then the next phase would be preliminary, then final, because it's a major subdivision. Only because we're establishing square lot lines around each townhome, so they're going to be for sale, and the lot line would be just around the limits of the actual townhome itself. If the lot lines weren't there, it would just be a straight one-step site plan application.
Right. Yeah, it's all that subdivision. Sure. So you'll be back in front of us at some point. I guess it's more.
Yes, I anticipate.
Socialization of the project, right? Sounds like. Cool.
Only other thing I noted in the packet in your report, it looked like the perk tests were done in November of 20. I'm sorry, November of 14.
Mhm.
I was just curious if those would be updated. I know there had been some fill that was put into position there, or if those typically get updated.
So the stormwater management pond itself is not designed for as an infiltration feature. Therefore, the perk test really wouldn't need to be updated because we're not providing any straight infiltration practices.
I'm just curious if that's something you guys normally
We would,
update.
we would, if we were designing practices that relied on infiltration, then we would obviously look to update them, especially in this instance or another instance where fill was brought onto the property. We would test that fill if we were designing a stormwater management feature that involved infiltration.
Is it safe to understand that those were done in the wetland area and not be developed? Am I thinking about that? Maybe I just misunderstood. You know, we can dig into it later when it.
Yeah, I don't have the test pit location map in front of me, but there were several test pits across the majority of the site, and then there were percolation tests, I believe, in the general vicinity of where we're showing the stormwater management pond today. And just to note, there is a state wetland on the property. There's an associated 100-foot adjacent area buffer. The entire development is located outside of the 100-foot buffer, so this development won't require any permitting from either the Army Corps or the New York State DEC. We did conduct a recent delineation, and last year both the DEC and the Army Corps issued their own jurisdictional letters that verified the limits of the wetlands that we show on the plans.
Yep.
What about easements? Are we, there's gotta be easements, right? That are gonna be put on this?
Yeah, there will be utility and access easements, because it's private road. We're gonna have a town pump station in lot 60.
Yeah.
Water authority will have easements for the water main. The town will have access and utility easements for the sanitary sewer. And then we're also allocating a conservation easement, basically everything to the northwest of that pond access trail. So it will encompass the entire wetland area and everything to the northwestern corner of the project.
That's gonna be like touch, you know.
Correct, no development,
Wildlife.
yep.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I'd highlight in our letter, we are proposing approximately 13 acres or 74% of open space within the HOA lands. That's everything outside of the square lots for the townhome units and outside of the pavement driveway building areas.
What's your time frame? What are you looking to do?
Well, if you ask the applicant, it would be as soon as possible. So it's,
Of course.
obviously, we have to get through the corresponding approval process, but they would definitely like to start the first phase this year. Possible. So it'll be done in 2 phases, 30 lots in the first phase and 29 lots in the second phase.
I wouldn't suspect there'd be a lot of first, but we'll get a little bit ahead of ourselves, I think, but be flat. Right?
Yes, it's pretty flat, and there was already some earth brought in twice now over the years. So our recent grading analysis showed that we can achieve an earthwork balance on the site, and we may just have to bring a small amount of fill in, but that's to be determined. Right now, we're showing an earthwork balance, so the foundations, the basements will project through the fill area onto the native ground as currently designed. The applicant will also utilize a geotechnical engineer just to verify the fills that were brought on site as well.
Yeah, it's fairly flat. there.
Yeah.
Recall that.
It's not, yeah.
It's not like the drumlins on the other side of the road that
Yeah.
Very
going up
different,
the
yeah.
hill significantly.
I think this,
But
so we're just acknowledging today,
that's it.
Yeah.
and then we'll be back in X amount of weeks,
Yes,
2 weeks.
every 2 weeks I'll be
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
that's
Well,
the case scenario.
no issues.
Yeah.
Application that was acknowledged.
Looks good.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, sure. In 4 weeks.
Absolutely.
All right, moving on. Approval of the March 5th. 3 minutes. And some edits. I was going through, everything looked good from my perspective, but
I agree.
I wasn't there, but I was so sick. So I wasn't there. They look good, but I.
Yeah.
can't walk out.
yes, okay. No additional edits. We table the approval for the next meeting. Comments, questions, concerns?
Think so.
Is there an update from the board?
Sure, we always do.
Yeah, okay, so I don't think that, but I'm Alexis with the town board.
Oh.
Just recently got elected back in November, I had a whole big new board and
Gotcha.
came on.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Latest from our last meeting is that we had, I know the solar development came here. But at the last meeting, I introduced a resolution to set a public hearing to contemplate a 6-month moratorium for all large scale commercial solar in the town. Just taking a look at our town codes we did them back in 2018. And while it does seem, 6 years ago, not too long ago in the world of solar and the way it's changed so much, the way, even solar developers are going, the way state laws have changed, et cetera. We're a little bit unique in our situation where our codes isn't really fitting the mold of what a lot of other towns are doing in regards to solar. So that's why we introduced, or at least why I introduced putting a moratorium. What will happen is we'll have the public hearing at our next meeting. Looking to keep it open for another meeting because we have to also send that over to the Ontario County Planning Board. Their next meeting that would be on the agenda for I believe April 8th. And then, so our next town board meeting after that, I believe it's the second one in April, the 22nd, I think is the date. Is where we'd be able to possibly, vote on implementing the moratorium. So right now, there's nothing. But if we do vote on it or it comes to it, it'd be a 6-month pause. It would just be for commercial solar. If you're looking to put a panel on your house, it would not apply. If you're looking to put something next to your house, to power your home, still would not apply. Still be fine to do that. And then simultaneously, we're thinking to do the moratorium while we get a group together to take a look at our solar code, tamper it a little, make, any sort of changes, bring that to the town board, review it, hopefully approve it, and then lift the moratorium. And then the next meeting this coming Monday, we'll also be setting the date location or locations and time for a vote on the Brace Road property that we're looking to acquire for a new highway facility. So by next 6:30. So by this time and a little bit, a couple hours afterwards, we'll have a date for you. And times and locations as well.
It's great.
Is there any
Cool.
questions?
Thanks for the updates.
Absolutely.
Helpful.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Right, we will call this meeting adjourned at 6:47.
It is. Yeah.
Hate it. For that project, solar project, talking afterwards, we had someone come before our board.
Yeah, there was.